Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play the entirety of this video, then I'll go back and talk about things that are going on. I better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think were done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
This critical incident video details an officer-involved shooting that occurred on September 29th, 2021, just before 10:30 p.m. Warning, the following video contains graphic images and language. It is not suitable for all viewers. Shortly before 10:30 p.m., detectives with IMPD's Violent Crimes Task Force and Violence Reduction Team were tracking 31-year-old Jasmine Brame. She was believed to be in an apartment complex in the 8,000 block of Silverleaf Drive. The detectives were observing the area. Ms. Brame was the suspect in an incident where shots were fired into two vehicles in a residence earlier that month. She was also wanted for two active warrants, one for armed robbery and the other for multiple charges, including intimidation, domestic battery, and felony handgun violation. Officers located Ms. Brame as she walked westward through the apartment complex. BRT Sergeant Jones was in full police uniform and fully marked police car when he saw Ms. Brame run across Harcourt Road to the 1900 block of Covey Lane. Sergeant Jones exited his car and gave commands for Ms. Brame to get on the ground and show her hands. Ms. Brame reached towards her waist and took off running around the corner of a fence. It was dark outside, and this location has minimal lighting. Sergeant Jones drew his service weapon and followed to where Ms. Brame disappeared around the corner. As Sergeant Jones came around the corner, he saw Ms. Brame standing against the iron fence, attempting to hide behind a brick pillar. Sergeant Jones moved closer and saw that Ms. Brame was pointing a gun directly at him. Sergeant Jones discharged his service weapon once, striking Ms. Brame. Ms. Brame fell to the ground and Sergeant Jones kept her at gunpoint until officers could reach him. At the time of this incident, Sergeant Jones' holster was not equipped with a sensor to activate the body-worn camera upon removal of his service weapon. Sergeant Jones activated his body-worn camera using the issued remote immediately after discharging his service weapon. When activated by an officer, the body-worn camera saves the previous 30 seconds of video without audio. It was during this time frame that Sergeant Jones discharged his service weapon. A flash can be seen, but no audio was recorded. Plainclothes VCTF detectives were wearing vests clearly marked with the word police. They responded to the location after Sergeant Jones discharged his service weapon. At the time of this incident, VCTF detectives had not yet been issued body-worn cameras.
Recording.
Show me your hands!
Advise if you guys have shots fired over there.
She's got a gun. It's on the ground.
You got a gun?
Yes.
Alright.
It's on the ground right here.
Okay.
Show me your hands! Control 511.
70.
Go ahead.
Shots fired. 8024 Silverleaf Drive. They've got shots fired over there. Can I get a couple units to start that way?
Here.
Oh. Roll over.
Here at the entrance of the next apartment.
Advise I've been involved in a police action shooting. See if you can get some medics here.
You Jenny, pair of cuffs.
Switch over to the channel. We've got multiple channels going on.
We'll get you taken care of.
Are we okay?
Yeah. The gun's back there.
Okay. Control, we're taking one into custody.
The handgun Ms. Brame had in her possession was recovered. Sergeant Jones and other officers provided medical aid until the arrival of paramedics. Miss Brame was transported to St. Vincent Hospital and was listed in stable condition. On October 6, 2021, the Marion County Prosecutor's Office filed the following criminal charges on Jasmine Brame for her alleged involvement in this incident: carrying a handgun without a license, felony 5, resisting law enforcement, felony 6, pointing a firearm, felony 6. The incident is being investigated by IMPD's Critical Incident Response Team. A separate and independent investigation will be conducted by IMPD's Internal Affairs Unit to ensure compliance with department policy. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office is being consulted throughout the investigative process. This incident will be reviewed by the Civilian Majority Use of Force Review Board. This occurs after the conclusion of the criminal process.
All right, let's get into it.
Sergeant Jones exited his car and gave commands for Miss Brame to get on the ground and show her hands. Miss Brame reached towards her waist and took off running around the corner of a fence. It was dark outside, and this location.
So they talked about the gun being pulled from the holster to activate the camera. I'm not 100% sure which product they're using for a body camera, but I do know that Axon has that kind of product as well. They have sensors that can be used for the holster and the gun, and when you pull your gun, it automatically starts the camera recording. Axon also has systems set up to where once you turn the emergency equipment on, it turns the body camera on as well. This particular product they're using, I don't know who they're using. It's not Axon because we don't see any of the Axon logo in the top right corner, but that is a feature that a few companies offer, is the ability for the camera to turn on when the gun is drawn from the holster. I like how they provided the little information down here as far as, when the audio begins and when the discharge occurs. And then I like how they pointed out up here so you have an idea, what you're looking at, because you can't really see a whole lot. All you see is this is a window, this looks like the light at a door, and this is maybe the front of a porch or something. And that's it. You can't see much of anything else. Now, it's interesting that they noted that this is a security light on a building. Whether that's malfunctioning light or whatever, I don't know what the significance is of this. Maybe this was something they're wanting to point out to be like, hey, the lighting conditions were poor because this one security light was off, or perhaps they just thought that people would think that the flashing light meant something else. I don't really know, but it was peculiar that they circled the security light.
Recording.
Show me your hands!
Now, I think, yeah, he does. He has a weapon-mounted light.
Show me your hands!
And you can see it when the flashlight reflects off of it.
She's got a gun. It's on the ground. Yes. It's on the ground right here.
Okay.
Show me your hands! Control 511.
70.
Go ahead.
Shots fired. 8024 Spring Release Drive. They've got shots fired over there. Couple units.
He doesn't have any cuffs. What the fuck? You're a police officer. How the fuck do you not have handcuffs on you? Like, what kind of Mickey Mouse shit is this? That blew my mind. Well, I don't have any cuffs. Why the hell do you not have handcuffs? Like, what the hell? So, let's start with the shootings part of it. Obviously, you know, she had a gun pointed at him. He had the right to use deadly physical force to protect himself. She has a deadly physical weapon. He needs to use the force to protect himself. I don't like the fact that he didn't have his weapon-mounted light turned on. And why did he not have his weapon-mounted light turned on? Could be because his batteries are dead. That's on him for not checking his equipment and making sure his shit is ready to work. You know, if you've got weapon-mounted light, you need to be testing your equipment. Ideally, I think that regardless of how many times you use that gun or not, or that light, you should be rotating your batteries out kind of on a regular basis. And yes, I get it. It can be expensive if you're having to buy those things on your own. But if this is something that the agency is providing to you, by all means, burn them up. Burn them up. Replace them every freaking month. I think that every couple months that you could replace them at minimum. But if you're going to have batteries provided to you at no cost, now when I say no cost, there is a cost to it, and the taxpayers are paying for it. But if you're on an agency and they can provide a bunch of batteries for your weapon-mounted lights, and there's no limit on it, by all means, replace them quite often, because there are a lot of accidental discharges with the flashlight on the gun from time to time. You know, you get in the car, at least for me, you know, if you know, I'm not buckling that seat belt, then that seat belt can push up into the dev group switch for me, and that's at least because I use a grip switch on mine, the dev group switch, and sometimes that seatbelt buckle can press up into the handle of the gun and activate that light. If you're not using that, then you shouldn't have that too many accidental discharges. But if you're using your weapon-mounted light any at all at night, a couple times here, a couple times there, then you should definitely be changing out your batteries on a good rotation, because when you think about every time you click that light on, that's like pulling the trigger on your gun. Your battery is like a magazine, all right? That magazine only has so many quote-unquote rounds in it, and every time you click that light on or press that light on, you're firing a round in a sense, and eventually that battery is going to run dry, just like the magazine in your gun is going to go dry after you fire it so many times. So find a rotation that works for you and replace those batteries before you start noticing the batteries going bad. If you are always replacing your batteries when you notice the lights going down, then you're setting yourself up for failure. You should be switching these batteries out before you ever notice that the batteries are going down. That way you are always fresh with batteries. All right. Second thing, this dude with no cuffs. Man, what's your problem? You're the police. Like, handcuffs is the quintessential piece of police equipment. Like, when you say police, like, handcuffs is one of those things that comes into play. I mean, when it comes to freaking Halloween costumes, there's a pair of fucking handcuffs in them. You're the police. Where the hell's your handcuffs? This guy is totally unprepared for work, and, you know, he's supposed to be on a violent crimes team. Like, he's supposed to be better than just the regular patrol guys. Like, what's this dude's problem?
Here.
Oh. Roll over.
Here at the entrance of the next apartment.
If you can get...
Are we okay? We're taking one into custody.
The handgun Ms. Brame had in her possession was recovered.
One into custody.
The handgun Ms. Brame had...
To get that extendo. So this is pretty much all of what we get to see in this video. The other people don't have body cameras, and that too, in my opinion, is kind of dumb. If you're going to be on a violent crimes task force, that means that of all people, you are more likely to get involved in some serious shit. I mean, if you were parking division and you was in plain clothes, I could understand why maybe, people doing parking enforcement and people being plain clothes going around, catching parking violators. I can maybe understand why an agency would be like, well, we're not going to give these guys cameras. We're going to put cameras somewhere else. I could kind of buy that. But this is a violent crimes task force. Like, these are the people who are more likely to get involved in fucking gunfights. Why the fuck would you not have them wearing body cameras? There's really not much else to say about this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.